Now that exterior brick is going to hold my house up, right? My name is Sean Larson, real estate broker, here to share just a few pieces of trivia about brick. And we are talking about exterior brick. We are not talking about cinder block. Just to clarify, cinder block are the large gray blocks that you see a lot of times schools and government buildings are made from. We are talking about exterior brick that you see on the outsides of homes. So no, that is not structural at all. So it is not going to hold your home up. In fact, there is actually a gap between your brick and your home. A lot of people don't know that either. So once your home is dried in, they've got it all framed, they've got the vapor wrap on, and they go to brick your home, the only thing attaching the brick to your home are what are called brick ties. And so the brick ties are just little thin pieces of metal. They attach them to your home, they bend them, and they simply sit in the mortar in between some of the brick courses or the brick layers. So every X courses, these brick ties come out and attach, and that's the only thing between your home and the brick. The brick is essentially another shell built around the home. And a lot of times that blows people's minds because they think their home is built of brick. And brick is just an exterior finish for your home. And it kind of varies depending on what region you're in. Certain exterior finishes are more popular in different regions. And sometimes that's the access, the accessibility of the materials. How cost effective is it to get it to that location? So brick is very popular in the Southeast, and you slide kind of northeast and you see more siding, which today is now hardy board. You go out west a bit and you see more stucco. So sometimes it's a regional thing, but brick seems to have a presence in most regions to some degree. So that's kind of tidbit one. Brick isn't structural. And tidbit two, there is a gap actually between your home and the brick. Now you're also going to see right now there's a surge or a resurgence maybe of painted brick. People brick the home and they paint it. Now, just a tip on that. If you are going that route, or if you have purchased a painted brick home, you cannot always, some might say usually, not be able to remove that paint and go back to a brick home. Now, that's debatable on whether they will be able to get that off or not, but heads up if anybody should ever consider doing that. When they brick a home and they intend on painting it, sometimes all of that brick is not the same pattern brick. Sometimes it is, I won't say leftovers, but overruns on brick on other jobs. And so if you took all the paint off, sometimes you will see mismatched brick. So if anybody is ever considering trying, maybe unsuccessfully, to remove all the paint from their brick, chances could be that you might see some unmatched brick. So it might not be the result that you're looking for. But nonetheless, right now, painted brick is popular. It kind of came back. There were some eras in the past where it was popular, and it's back. There are entire communities going up with painted brick. But just keep in mind, painted brick is not forever. It is not paint and just let it be. Depending on what manufacturer you're talking about, some might estimate 10, 15, 20 years, somewhere in there, before that paint will need some attention. And that is one thing to keep in mind, not only for your own home, but if you have an entire community going up and everybody's painting their brick, keep in mind, if you plan on staying there a long time, what's going to happen in about 15 years or so? That's right. A lot of people are going to have to repaint. And you are counting on that is going to happen. And you hope that it's not a maintenance issue that is community-wide where you have homes that are in need of paint, which is an extensive job, and it's not getting done. So just be aware of that. If you're buying into a community that already has some age on it and a lot of the homes are painted, drive around, see if that is being maintained. Are people keeping up with repainting those homes? So just a heads up on painted brick there. If you want an alternative to that look, you just really like that solid color look that painted brick gives, another option is selecting a brick pattern that is very uniform. And then a lot of people don't know, but you can select mortar that is colored. So if you select a mortar that is virtually the same color as your brick, you will get a very similar look to painted brick. However, you don't have that 10, 15, or 20-year maintenance coming at you when it might need to be repainted. You just have brick like normal. but you just have coordinated the brick pattern or color with the mortar, and it gives an awesome look. So that is another route to check out. Last tip for you on brick is when I am out showing homes and people aren't familiar with brick, or maybe they are and they just haven't looked that closely, somewhere toward the bottom layers or the bottom courses of the bricks, you are going to see some vertical areas where there is no mortar. There is a gap there between the bricks. And quite often buyers will point it out saying, oh, it looks like they missed the mortar there. No, not at all. Those are what are called weep holes. And so you remember back a little minute ago when I said, you've got that gap between the brick and the home? That's an air gap there. You want that for ventilation. You do not want moisture accumulating back there. Literally, if it's water or even water vapor, you don't want that in there. So in the event water should get back there, because brick is porous. If you hit brick with enough driving rain where it will saturate that brick, it will eventually go through that brick and that mortar and come out on the other side. Granted, most storms aren't that violent, but it is possible to penetrate the brick and mortar with water. So if water should come through, it needs somewhere to go. You don't want to trap it there. Even if it's just humidity, you don't want to trap it back there. So what it does is the weep hole allows a couple things. It allows any actual water back there to drain out. And what it also does is it also allows ventilation, because you have your home wall and then you have the brick wall. This is just an open gap on the top. So if you put a weep hole in the bottom, it allows ventilation to go through those two spaces and keep that area dry. But quite often when we see those, buyers will say, oh, they missed some mortar on there, we might have to touch that up. Or they might even want to spotlight it on an inspection report when in fact it is intentional. It is supposed to be there. You will see it right between the bricks, kind of lower on the home. It's lower because it's a drain and a vent there. So those are just some tidbits about brick. I could talk about construction all day long. I'm also a general contractor, so I enjoy sharing tidbits about homes so people are more educated about what they're looking at. Again, my name is Sean Larson, real estate broker. If I can help you out with anything, please reach out. I'll take great care of you. Have a super day.